shall we begin?
You are now listening to an altogether less fashionable variety of soccer podcast. Broadcasting live from the capital city of Columbus, Ohio. Welcome to ACES Radio.
They're in your face. They're a little different. I think it's super cool. I love them. Jamie, you ignorant slut.
Hold on to your butts.
Hold on to your butts indeed, everyone. I've turned everyone's microphone volumes up, Greg. That can only mean one thing. You are now officially listening to ACES Radio. Welcome back, everyone. I can't believe you've done this to yourself again. You would think after 3 episodes you would know to not listen to this. My name is Nordic Celebrity Morgan Hughes. I am joined, as always, by Monkey Boy John Zadar and Celebrity Fan, a.k.a. Hollywood, Greg Benson. Welcome in, guys. How you guys been?
Doing?
The Knife Walker.
I love it. Yeah, give away my superhero identity on the air.
Everyone
Way
knew.
to go.
We played Is It a Knife last year.
In
That's
no
true.
way do you have a celebrity alter or a superhero alter identity,
No,
Greg.
he does. You missed it last night on Twitter.
No.
That's true. You,
Well, I don't
you
follow
did.
You were doing old people things or whatever. I don't know.
Oh, sleeping?
Well, I think you were at the MCL
That's true.
doing Jell-O.
And I did recently join Crew Union again, which is why I was required by law to go into MCL. Correct, you are, John, as always. So, we have a lot to talk about. USA Guatemala happened. I don't remember what the specifics were, but I'm assuming we lost.
No.
No?
No.
Fill me in, John. What
We
happened?
won.
We did.
We won this time.
Are you talking about America?
America?
Are you talking about stands or scoreboard?
I mean, we lost the first game. Which game are you even talking about?
Home.
Oh, yeah, we won. That one we won.
Did we?
Yeah.
That's exciting.
I saw you there. I don't know.
I did see you.
Yeah, you were around.
Yeah, you were hanging out with my dad in the parking lot, and you didn't know it was my dad.
Yeah, no one told me that. Aaron and Jarvis were like, "This is John," and I was like, "Hi, nice to meet you."
Yeah.
No mention of the fact that it was your father.
Yeah. You saw him more than I did that day.
Probably.
That was fun. Yeah. So, USA Guatemala happened. We are recording this on Thursday night, and through the magic of the internet, you could be listening to it 7 years from now. But backstory, on Tuesday night of this current week, we played, USA played Guatemala at MAPFRE Stadium, and as is tradition, the United States dominated and won.
Because home TM.
Yeah. Well,
Is home trademarked in reference to Columbus yet?
It's not too late. We can get it.
I think there's another. What's the other one that's not TM, but it's like
The R in the
R.
circle?
Copyright?
Yeah.
I think
Rights reserved?
Yeah,
Reserved.
yeah. I think that means that they're about to trademark it. So R, actually, if you want to go back and post edit and put the R instead of the TM, Greg, that joke would probably be funnier.
So home R.
Yeah.
Homer.
Did you go to the game?
I did not.
So
sadly.
you actually got to enjoy it. You watched it on television.
Yeah, I actually watched all of the game
Yeah.
from the comfort of my own drunken living room.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't even go to Hen Docs?
No, I didn't even. I actually worked like an adult and then got home just in time for kickoff. And it was like, I know.
Loser.
I'm like the worst American ever. I wasn't
I
even
just like to say
born
I
here.
worked that day, and I still
Yeah.
went.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So how do we look on TV, Greg? I think most of the people that are listening to this, all the tens of listeners we have, probably were at the game. So how do we look on television?
Won the hell out of the stands.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I knew it.
That's what it's all about.
I mean, that's where I was looking most of the time.
Yeah.
Cameramen, to their credit, were actually doing a good job of keeping me informed on the stands scoreboard.
Yeah, that's good.
That was nice.
And also, as is tradition, they mic'd the AO section and not the Nordac. There are crew fans in there. They use bad language.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
Yeah,
Well, it's because we don't have capos telling us what to do.
that's true. Tony tried.
Tony was on the stage the whole time.
Yeah, but he was kind of like spilling over into
At one
the
point, we
Nordac.
scored a goal, and I looked at Mike, and I said, "Look at Tony," and Tony was leaning up against the railing. He wasn't excited or anything. And I was like, "Tony, why are you so sad? We just scored."
Yeah. Well, he's a sad individual.
That's true.
Yeah.
There were
be
some
happy,
people
Tony.
who were actually hoping for a U.S. loss, like as if it was going to be the
I kind of
impetus to fire Klinsmann.
Yeah, I was one of those people.
Somebody
a
flew
little
a
bit.
plane up overhead. Did you guys see that?
I did. Yeah.
I thought that
The
was
plane with
fantastic.
The fly Klinsmann.
It was close, man. Like
Was it worth the money, Morgan?
Yeah. No comment, Greg. Yeah. Yeah, we saw that was almost directly over the stadium.
Yeah.
And I know because I've gotten in trouble with the league and the Columbus Crew
For flying
For
things?
flying
really?
things.
For flying things over
No
the
way.
possibly responsible for the league-wide ban on
Drones?
Yeah,
That'd be it?
Yeah, I'm not going to confirm or deny that. Yeah, it was me.
Yeah, no, I wanted us to win, but I want Klinsman fired, so
Of all the soccer
if
podcasts,
we had lost, it would have been
of all the soccer podcasts in the country, we're probably the least, pro-America one. All three of us are kind of like, meh,
Yeah.
go Crew.
Right.
But I'm firmly in the position of cheering for the United States national team because I don't want Gregg Berhalter to leave, and I believe that if
You're convinced that he's
You
taking
think
the job
you think
next.
he's next man up.
I think that's his next job. Whenever Klinsman leaves or whenever he goes into technical director instead of technical director and sporting director and head coach or whatever the fuck,
Which is what he should do.
I think Gregg Berhalter's the next move. But I said that to Frankie earlier in the day, and he broed out a little bit in an angry way.
You
No,
think
Frankie's convinced that that Berhalter's not going anywhere for a while.
You think they'd take Berhalter before they took someone like Jason Kreis?
Yes.
Really?
Well, there's already Berhalter at U.S. Soccer. I'm sure.
How can you pick Jason Kreis when his most recent foray in coaching was just a dumpster fire?
I understand. NYC was a dumpster fire. Jason Kreis wasn't a dumpster fire.
Jason Kreis was running that dumpster fire.
Was he though? Really? I'd question that.
Yeah, I mean, there's already Berhalter there. He's behind the scenes, and I think Gregg Berhalter is best case scenario for U.S. Soccer. So I don't want that to happen because I'm definitely club
at all.
before country.
I would argue Porter's right up there with him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
6 of one,
Yeah.
half dozen the other. So we need to talk about this because it's becoming, if it wasn't already just completely absurd, it is to the level of absurdity officially after last night. The United States national team just needs to play every game at MAPFRE Stadium. The end.
Yeah.
That sounds exhausting.
Like for us.
You said that, and I just instantly lost all of my energy.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
we all need a nap.
take like friendlies out of the equation, and stupid, meaningless.
Important games.
Like
mean.
actually
Yeah.
meaningful.
Yeah, World Cup qualifying.
So every home game is here. Is that what you're
Gold
suggesting?
Cup 2017 Columbus.
Tell me
Never
one
mind USA.
reason why it shouldn't be a thing. One legitimate reason.
I mean, if all you're concerned with is winning games, then yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
The only argument would be money.
yeah.
Yeah, ticket sales.
Distribution.
Yeah, the fact that you
Ticket sales and exposure.
But how much money can they, okay, so you sell out MAPFRE Stadium with the additional seating, it's somewhere around 24,000. Let's say best case scenario, you're probably, your biggest venue would be Quest Field in Seattle.
Yeah.
And that's 60-ish.
Yeah.
So it's 40,000 additional tickets sold, and I understand that's a lot of money. That's upwards of, probably somewhere right around $500,000. But think about the money they make in merchandising and television.
Right.
$400,000 is nothing.
They're right. They're going to make that merch and TV money regardless of where the game's played.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's a camera pointed at a stadium.
Right.
Right.
So it doesn't matter.
So here's a thought. If they were to say we will play every game in Columbus, if OSU will make the necessary changes to Ohio Stadium to let us play there.
No.
Not in a million years.
Bad. Because our stadium is the thing. Is it a city thing? Could they play at Fancyburg Park in Upper Arlington? Probably not. It's that tiny demon fortress.
Yeah.
When people say Dos Acero, they just think of that stadium. And then score lines and players are secondary.
Right. Yeah, I saw Caleb. I don't know if you guys saw it. Caleb Williams retweeted something where he said he talked to Guatemala people at the game who said that they've been looking forward to coming, and Columbus and our stadium was on their bucket list of soccer places to go.
That's crazy.
That's incredible.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It defies logic.
Like that, we are like legend in the sport now at this point.
In that area of the sport. Because I don't think anybody has us on their bucket list as an MLS fan.
No.
No.
And really, do you have any MLS venue as an MLS venue on your bucket list? Really?
No.
Can you think honestly? Even the most hardcore league fanboys would be like.
I mean, there are stadiums I'd like to go to, but stadiums that I absolutely need to attend before I die.
I feel like I've missed something if I haven't been there. No.
What's the opposite of a bucket list? You know, something like, here's my list of things that I want to do. It's a bucket list. The opposite is like, here's a list of things I'll never do no matter what.
Here's a list of stuff I've dumped out of the bucket.
Yeah. And I have those kinds of things with MLS stadiums. Like,
this is my pile of shit list.
Yeah.
Right.
My pile of shit list is like the Citrus Bowl.
Citrus Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yankee Stadium.
That was fun. We went there.
Good time.
The
trip was fun. The stadium sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's a hell of a place to watch a ball game.
Don't walk in the Step Brothers expecting Citizen Kane, Greg, and you're not going to be disappointed.
Right.
That's right.
I was so keen to get away from Yankee Stadium for that trip. I was actually in Minnesota that weekend. So
that's bad, Greg.
It was.
Crickets are bad.
That worked so well.
Really did.
Oh shit.
Really
so
did.
Nobody can come up with one reason why we shouldn't play every game here, because if results matter, you know, I tweeted the other day, our all-time record here now is 8 wins, 3 ties, 0 losses, 19 goals scored, 1 goal conceded.
I will say that the crowd was not as overwhelmingly in favor of the U.S. as it normally is. Yeah. There were a lot of Guatemalan fans there, like so many so that there was points where they would get excited about something, and I would like look on the field and be like, "Oh shit, that's not good for us."
Yeah,
yeah.
So there was the crowd presence wasn't as favorable as it usually is, but
southwest corner of the upper deck was
I saw that
pretty much all Guatemalans, and good on them. You know, I'm glad they had a great experience coming to their bucket list stadium.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't realize there were that
sounds.
many Guatemalans in the U.S. This isn't a setup for a joke. Like, I actually like a game against Mexico. There's a huge Mexican community in this country, but Guatemalan, really?
I was
Apparently
out
not.
in the parking lot. I got to the stadium at 10:30 to do setup for Tifo Sweat, and I was out in the parking lot after we were done testing it and setting it up, and it was when the Guatemalans started showing up in force, and there was a group of maybe 10 of them, and I went over to them, I'm like, hey, come on over, have some beers with us, because they were just aimlessly wandering. I thought they were lost. So I invited them over to the Murderer's Row tailgate, and they're like, yeah, okay, good to see you. Thanks for having us, man, and except in Spanish, Greg. And they got as far as the cornhole board that was set up outside of
and they were like, no.
They honestly, every single one of them walked up, picked up a beanbag, like turned it around in their hands a couple times, put it down, and they all walked away. I don't know what the hell it meant.
That's so weird.
And I have no idea why they did it, but
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. The Guatemalan guys came from everywhere, though. They weren't just Columbus-based
Oh
people.
no. I mean,
I was surprised, though. Like I said, and I referenced Caleb's tweet, he said the people he met were from L.A. and Alaska.
Yeah. Caleb is
Alaska.
also drunk.
Yeah,
a lot.
Guatemalan fans
Guatemalans
from Alaska.
in Alaska.
Yeah, I don't know.
And
I
they
learned something today.
I mean, that's a long way to travel to watch your team just get murdered.
Oh, yeah.
And it could have been a lot worse if there was a referee who was worth
Who knew what
half
he was
of a
doing?
shit
Yeah.
when Ethan Finlay came on. I asked Twitterless Pam, who also watched the game on TV. Yeah, she's the worst. If they could hear us on television chanting for Ethan Finlay continuously from about the 60th minute until he came on the field, and she said no.
Yeah, I've seen replays and stuff of people took videos during that time.
Yeah,
and it was not very loud in those videos. But man, that stadium was
I could hear it on the broadcast. I mean, it wasn't stadium wide, overwhelming. Like, holy shit, I can hear it from my place in UA. But yeah, no, you could hear it. Like, you could tell.
Yeah, but that's what it was in the stadium. I mean, it was like the full stadium.
Yeah,
wanted that kid on there.
Yeah.
It was overwhelming when he came on, and when he scored that legitimate goal.
The goal that was legit.
Yeah. First of all, it was just so perfect. Like, it's his home stadium. This is his, legitimate
his entire
debut.
Professional career has been played here.
Right. Yeah. And his goal was, the weight of his body, the inertia of his movement was just taking him towards the Nordic, whether or not that ball went in the back of the net. And when it did, it was just like it was written in the stars.
Yeah.
And I saw the flag go up before he shot it. And
Long
I'm like,
before he shot it.
No.
Oh, the place went so crazy that no one could hear what was going on. He didn't even. I mean, it was like a good 30 seconds before he realized he hadn't scored.
He did that slide into the Nordic that he's done before, and I was just like, I literally was biting my hand. It was so awkward.
Yeah,
because I'm like, oh God, he's gonna turn around.
Oh, he followed through with the whole celebration, as if
it was awful.
Oh,
I was so. Just like sick for him when I got home that night and was like checking replays and
once
stuff.
You figure it out that I'm
like, dude, he wasn't even close to offside.
I thought it was close at first. And again, you have the advantage of angles on the replays and everything. Watching it in real time, first time, I thought, I don't know. Yeah. But then you see the replays at least 2 feet onside.
Well,
it's not even line ball.
Yeah, and I saw a video of his and Josie's goal side by side, and Josie was way closer to.
Really?
Yeah, he was riding the line way harder than Finlay was for his.
It's tough to see it live when you're there. It's tough to know not only like was he onside, was he offside, but also like how did this person realistically look? Because we only have one vantage point, and it's the corner field level. How did Finlay look, Greg, from your perspective on TV?
How did he look?
Just in general, once he came on,
play. He looked like, I won't say the whole play seemed to like. My eyes weren't constantly looking to where he was or what he was doing, but it was that for quite a lot of the time. First time he touched the ball, when I heard the crowd roar, I'm like, all right, there's something special going on here. And the fact that he was playing in that stadium where he's played so many games now, it just felt natural. Not like it was his first cap, but not like he was overwhelmed either by the occasion. I mean, this was an important game, considering where the U.S. hung before they kicked off that night.
Yeah.
But he wasn't overawed by the situation at all. He, just seemed like he was taking it in stride out there.
Well, I hope it translates directly to his Columbus Crewzers FC football club play, John.
Here's hoping.
Yep, that's what we're all hoping for. So the United States moves up to, 7 points?
7 points.
We are second in the group.
Yes.
We're pretty much through now.
I want your hot takes, if you would just chill out for 1 second, not ruin the end of the segment, John. Sack of shit. I want your hot takes on whether or not you think the United States will make the Hex. So let's start with celebrity monkey boy John Sidar. John.
The United States will make the Hex, and they will top the group doing so.
Dynamite. Back to you, Greg.
The U.S. will qualify, but they will not top the group.
We have differing opinions here on ACES Radio. I appreciate that. I predict 12. Purple.
And a letter.
H.
Thank you.
I'm just going to go with purple and H for the rest of the, this is possibly the last episode.
I mean, it's going to be the last one, so keep the streak alive.
Yeah. Go out on a winner.
Yeah. So let's be done talking about the United States national team, because I've had enough of it. We were going to talk about Tifo
We can
Sweat.
ignore it again for another, 2 years now?
Absolutely.
Until they return here from Mexico?
Yeah.
Tifo Sweat was great.
Yeah, did it look good?
Yeah. No, it looked really good.
They get good shots of it on TV?
Yeah, they got some really good shots of it on
let's
TV.
talk about it. I mean,
you know what?
Here's the weird thing about this project. We've done a national team game before as a group. It was Dos Cero 2013. The
birth of Tifo Sweat.
Yeah, that thing took, I don't know,
months.
16 months, it felt like. I lost 15 pounds. It was awful. It was just a terrible experience. As cool as it looked, it sucked. But this one, it was quite literally the easiest project I've ever been involved with. Everything went off spectacularly. The last time, so we went in and, we rarely do stage banners because it looks naked without a giant crowd behind it.
Yeah, does not look good.
We learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
So the last time we had done a stage banner of this size was for Dos Cero. And let's say that game was on a Wednesday. We went into the stadium, I believe, on Monday maybe, and it was like a 7-hour practice thing where we were screwing it up and we couldn't get it on there, and attaching these giant projects to netting is hard. And so we went and did that at 11 o'clock on game day a couple days ago here, and maybe it took 35 minutes. And it was perfect. Every time we did it, we tested it like 5 times, went perfectly. Game execution went perfectly. It went so perfectly, in fact, Greg, that I was standing in the Nordeck with celebrity fans John Zadar, Mike Kuhn, and Shrikant Mecca, and we were like, let's put it back up.
Let's do it again.
Yeah, let's put it back after the game.
Well, they showed shots of it when after the final whistle. They showed the shot from before the game of it going up, and I thought that you guys were raising it again.
We did.
That
was raising.
No,
it
it was probably live. You were watching.
Yeah.
That was live.
At the 88th minute, the four of us ran down there, and two of them jumped over me.
Oh, that actually legit happened.
Me and Shrek jumped over the railing, and
Yeah.
Mike and Morgan pulled the ropes, and we put it up again for probably 4 or 5 minutes. Minutes.
Yeah.
It was up for a long time.
I thought it was just one of those shots they'd spliced in from before, like, hey, here's what happened before the game with this cool banner, and oh, cool, final whistle. They're showing shots from beforehand, but wow, that actually,
final
that's
whistle,
really
and
great.
we raised it right at the final whistle.
Well, thanks for paying attention, Greg.
Well,
He was drunk on his couch. He probably
Wow.
fell asleep.
I was
Greg is
drunk
the
on the
worst.
couch, and yes, I did fall asleep, and I absolutely am the
Everyone
worst.
hates you, even the studio audience.
Yeah.
I have some man balls to give out, John, which is a combination of man of the match and game balls.
Are these like that time that the doctors put balls in Merrim?
It's nothing like that.
Oh, no.
It's exactly like the thing I said.
Distribute
Nothing
your balls.
like the thing you said. First man ball to the security at MAPFRE Stadium for actually letting Shrek and celebrity fan Mike Kuhn jump down on their Kevin or whomever it was, jump down on the field, because there have been times before where they don't let that happen.
Oh, no, they were not
For big
happy about
events.
me trying to do it
Yeah.
at the end of the game.
Well, you look like a
But
kid.
I got
That's
somebody.
because you're white.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got
Second-
some cool video while I was down there.
Second man ball goes to Kevin Glenn of American Outlaws Columbus chapter, of Crew Supporters Union, of just
Illiterates Anonymous?
yes, general illiteracy, for designing a hell of a banner. He was nervous that people wouldn't like it. He was wrong and dumb, and he can't read. Final man ball goes to American Outlaws Columbus for
Hell of a weekend. Or,
Banging
I guess
it
it
out,
wasn't
man.
a weekend, but
Yeah.
24 hours. Really great.
credit where credit is due. American Outlaws really turned it up this time. They bought the fabric. They, got people together to help paint it. They had a hell of a tailgate. They may still be a pyramid scheme, but at least for this week, they're all right in my book. Any man balls you want to give out, John, real quick?
No, I'm good. I'm going to keep my 2 man balls.
Greg, man balls.
Yeah, no.
I demand that you give one out.
Okay. Man ball to ESPN for continuing to employ Ian Dark because I love his commentary. It's hilarious.
Can I give mine, or did I lose my opportunity?
You can give yours.
I'm going to give a man ball to all the Guatemalan fans.
Ooh.
Respect.
There you go.
Respect. Alaska, L.A.,
Alaska.
far away places.
The fact that you moved from Guatemala to Alaska in the first place
But
shows
yeah,
your
that's my
willingness to
man ball.
travel.
Mm-hmm. Well, the music's coming on.
I hear
so
it.
Yeah.
That means that both of you have to stop talking.
No.
That automatically comes on when you guys talk.
Every time.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
true.
really subtle.
Yeah. Well, you've made another terrible decision. You've listened to an entire segment of ACES Radio against your better judgment. Coming up in segment 2, we're going to introduce you to another celebrity fan. This time, it's Bryan Levin. Or is it Levin, John?
I don't know. We'll find out.
We'll find out coming up. Segment 2. John, put your genitals away. We'll be back in just a minute.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Now we blasting off into the ozone. The way we kick it in the dojo is local for show. Though we paving the road that's opposed to the dojo. Going over your head like a top hat. Stop that. I know you hear me spitting these hot raps. Now watch that beat, cause it's about to drop. The Rockets is the 09 jump off. Yeah, your last name Pan, first name Peter. I know you see me playing and you want me to teach you, but I say elevated so that all God's creatures can hear me shout it out like my name is Aretha. Getting RESPECT. Fly by, see the looks on your faces. Cause I'm in full EFFECT. Jet setting on a daily basis. David F. Man, you don't stop. David, you won't stop. We came to rock it till the city takes off. Mr. Captain, yeah, I'm an ace pilot, yeah. I want to spin my wings and fly. To all my people in coach, and to my first class folks.
You know, just because, John, we don't want to let down celebrity fan Nate Beckman, celebrity fan Dave Edinger, we're never going to change this song.
No.
Never.
Not that we take their opinion seriously on anything, but
Never.
it's just convenient that we both love this song and they do too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also, I'd have to find another song to edit up, and,
That's
who the hell
work?
That's just hard work.
Why would you want to do that when this is probably the last episode ever?
Welcome back, everyone, to possibly the last episode of ACES Radio. I'm joined by Celebrity Monkey Boys John Zidar, Greg Benson, a.k.a. Gregulator614, a bunch of underscores in there. I don't know where or when. Doesn't matter.
Anywhere you want them.
So you know what we do every week, Greg, on segment 2 is we either take somebody who is an unknown and we create a celebrity fan out of them, or we take a celebrity fan and we increase their celebrity fandom level.
I feel like my appearance on this segment last week was my She's All That moment.
What does that even mean?
I don't know what that means.
It's the kids will get it.
No,
really? Come on.
Will the kids get it? Isn't that an older movie?
That was the joke, John.
Well, that's why we played the crickets.
There we go, Greg. You feel better now?
They were preemptive crickets.
Yeah.
But yes, now I feel not much better.
Good. Well, segment 2, we really got to come up with a name for this segment. We really do. Someday we will. But if this wasn't possibly the last episode of ACES Radio, we could think about it.
It's another thing that requires work.
Not much point now.
I want to welcome into the program, everybody, soon-to-be celebrity fan, Bryan Levin. Bryan, thank you for coming.
I don't know why I'm here.
I don't either.
That's what the last person that Greg kidnapped said.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Now I have to follow a Brit or an Irishman
Yeah.
and an Australian,
Yes.
and I'm from Ohio.
Yeah.
You're on a downslope here.
Well, you could come up with some sort of accent that you could use for the rest. And I could edit out all the stuff you've said.
I don't have an accent?
No. It sounds like Dayton. Is that right? It feels
a little
Dayton.
south of Dayton.
Yeah.
So it's just dirty.
For those who don't know Bryan, if you've been to Tifo Sweat, you might be familiar with him. He was, how did we meet, Bryan? Because question 1, there's a whiteboard in this conference room, and bullet point 1 says, "What do you do?"
That beats the hell out of me.
Yeah.
So I get to play with video all day, and that's how I met.
You shoot porn?
The Tifo guy.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
So, well, you're getting ahead of me, so now a spoiler. I guess my whole segment's done.
Yeah. Gotta remember that Seattle project, John.
A lot of paint.
A lot of hot, steamy
body
paint
paint.
sessions.
It's really when your whole thing with exposing your genitals came in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah, they were out that whole time.
yeah. So you filmed our porn.
Yeah.
And what was the name of that porn?
That would be Massive Supporters.
Massive Supporters. That's right.
Which is a real fun project, and that's how I met pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
Although I've been a Crew fan for most of my
Don't
life.
skip ahead. Do not skip ahead. I swear to God.
That's the pattern.
If anything, that's what he hates the most.
Yeah. I hate it when you do that. The studio audience hates it as well, as you can hear. Yeah, this drop thing is really paid off, John.
You're loving it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However much it costs on the App Store, what a deal.
Worth it.
So, where are you from originally?
Centerville, which
Centerville.
is south of Dayton, also the home of Dwight Burgess for Crew fans.
Ooh, who is that?
He's the voice of the Columbus Crew.
Oh, did he used to be known as Neil Sika? Yeah. Or are they two separate people? We're not sure. Who else is from Centerville? I know there are various Ohio State Buckeyes.
Oh, yeah. Well, people in Columbus would know A.J. Hawk and Mike Nugent, Kirk Herbstreit, me.
I'm from, you.
You're right up there with them.
Yeah. So tell us about your childhood. I know that you're somewhere around the age of 30. Is that accurate?
Yeah. I'll be 29 here pretty soon.
So the Crew did not exist when you were a tiny baby infant sports fan?
Correct. I remember the Crew coming in, but I was, 9? Yeah. So I wasn't really too aware of, what it meant, what it could be, that kind of stuff.
So growing up, who was your team?
When I was that young, I really didn't have a team. I guess my team was just the Italian national team, so I'm half Italian. Yeah. And my uncle followed Italian soccer, and so I would see it when I would hang out with him. And actually, a really cool thing that Dayton had at that time was a country-specific soccer league. That was so loud.
Jesus Christ.
These chairs are awful. Country specific.
Yeah, so
what does that even mean? Like,
so
people
you
in Dayton
could play for Team Italy, you could play for Team Germany, you could play for the U.S., you could play for the Netherlands.
This was in Dayton?
Yeah, it was whatever your heritage was, you joined that team.
Oh, okay.
And so, like, my uncle played for Team Italy, and it was just, it was a for fun thing, but it adds a little
This is kind of like what Greg was talking about last week, right?
It is a little bit
similar concept.
A little bit like the ethnic social clubs things.
Yeah. Did you have to prove your ethnicity? Are there like characteristic like birthing marks that you're like, oh, you're Scandinavian. Let's see your butt.
Well, for the Italians, you just had to be kind of a little darker, right?
That makes sense.
So it folded by the time I got old enough to play it. But I do remember that. So that was kind of my, foray. And then obviously the World Cups in '94 would have been the one that kind of probably brought everybody in this room kind of more into soccer.
Oh, I mean, absolutely. For me, it was the first time I ever watched soccer on television.
Well, it was '90 for me, but I'm old.
Yeah, you are very old, Greg. Why are you still here?
I don't know.
It's
past my bedtime.
Like we are now in the Wheel of Fortune.
You know MCL closes in 20 minutes, right?
You've missed Jeopardy in its entirety.
I have.
It's 7:34 local time. It is now Vanna and Pat. Yeah.
You should be in house shoes and nothing else but a robe.
I'll say this, Greg. You can barely notice those adult diapers in those pants. They're getting thinner and thinner. Yay, technology.
Thanks, Morgan.
Yeah. So, Brian, '94 kind of got you into the whole soccer universe, I guess, seriously.
Yeah, so that was kind of how I found my eventual team. So I rooted for Italian football. We'll call it football since it's Italy.
Were you able to watch any of those games on television?
Randomly. I mean, it was, this is when cable was still kind of figuring itself out. So I just would randomly see games, and that was back when you could buy pay-per-view games. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Of course.
And the feed was always cut out if it went to extra time.
Ugh.
But so there was an Italian striker named Christian Vieri that was real big in the mid to late 90s, and so I kind of fell in love with that guy, and then he got sold to Inter Milan in Italy, and since then I've led black and blue.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my foray into supporting a team.
So that was around the time the Crew started.
Yeah.
Was it just kind of a natural thing for you to take your Italian fandom and kind of transfer it to MLS?
Yeah, well, I actually had like a specific moment was where I kind of fell in love with the Crew, and it was I wish they still did this, but in like maybe 97-ish, the Crew actually came to I was in middle school at the time, but what was my high school, and did like a practice as like, hey, we're a new team, try to get fans, let people see you. And I vividly remember seeing Brian McBride step out on the field, and that was like watching a god.
Yeah.
Walk out on the field, and
that's because Jesse Owens was closed that day, and they needed to practice somewhere.
Well, the Buckeyes are practicing there.
Yeah,
and they get first priority.
The Buckeyes may have practiced that night, so they definitely weren't allowed. Just because the Ohio State Buckeyes might have shown up.
Yeah.
Did you? So you saw? Was it that moment? Were you all in when you knew that Columbus was getting a team? I mean, I know you're 9 years old, and it's tough to remember.
Yeah, well, I mean, at that point, it's like kids today seeing Iron Man, right? It's just like it's a larger than life person. It was like, oh, I play soccer, but you're obviously much bigger and much better at it, and you have matching uniforms, which we didn't all have at the time.
Yeah,
and so that was kind of my attachment moment. But truth be told, I didn't actually attend a game until maybe 2004. Mm-hmm. Just for
you didn't get in your car as a 9-year-old and drive yourself here.
Well, it was one of those things. So everybody I knew played soccer, but especially at the time, nobody really watched it. So there was no way to go to a game.
That was the 80s and 90s, right?
And when you're 9, Columbus is like a 4-day drive.
Yeah,
from Dayton. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it wasn't until much later that I actually started going to games. But as little as they're on TV now, it was even more sparse.
Well, that was always the thing that we were told, right? As a country, we were like, well, there are more kids playing soccer than there are, Little League baseball. So give it 5 years and America's going to dominate. But there was nothing really to translate, once you're, 18 and you're like, okay, what's the next move? Oh, literally nothing. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you know what has changed that a little bit? And I don't know if this is just my observation, if everybody else feels this way, but soccer players are getting called names a lot less than like way back in the day. Do you remember when football was like, you're a man if you
derogatory names?
Yes. And they would use like really kind of horrible things for soccer players, and you don't see that anymore, which is, I think that's the thing that's kind of let us.
That was like for a long time the one real defense that soccer players would have when people called you a pussy or a coward or something is you would show them that picture of Brian McBride bleeding from the eye.
Yeah,
and you just be like, look at this.
Yeah,
you don't see people with the eyes completely swollen shut and bleeding in baseball, or
We can say soccer fag because this is a podcast and we're just referring to it without saying it.
Pretty much.
It's like when people do the F asterisk CK. You're like, I wonder if he means fuck. I think he means fuck. Yeah. Soccer fag was a thing that was said a lot. And
It 100% was. Yeah. By the people who, when they call hike, hug each other.
Yeah. Right.
All game long.
Yeah, and touch each other's butts after good plays.
And are wearing spandex.
Yeah. Well, it's
bright yellow spandex. No less.
The term fag has also run its course, and now it's when we were kids, it wasn't really a extraordinarily terrible thing to say, and now rightfully so it is. So is it kind of a society thing? Yes, but you're also right now that we're completely inundated with soccer compared to what we were in pre-96. So I think that people kind of maybe that weren't exposed to soccer now are seeing it and they're like, oh yeah, no, this is actually pretty sweet.
Yeah, well, actually, and I think just going on that point, I think Columbus Crew are a great microcosm of that too, because anybody that's gone to a game in that stadium or been around the Crew, they accept everybody, and whoever wants to root for that team, no matter your age or your size or your beliefs. It's all. I feel like that was the first sports team where I thought it was just like, show up, you're a fan, that works. Like, we don't care anything else about what you are, how much you drink, how
no
much
preconceived
you party.
notions about what a fan is.
Whoever's in that stadium, we're all on the same team.
It was kind of an era where soccer fans, American soccer fans, at least from a local club perspective, got to, if you're a Boston Celtics fan, you just jump into a thing that's already defined. This is what Boston Celtics fandom is like. This is what Atlanta Braves fandom is like. And that era was definitely like hey, let's make it a thing where we can just go to traveling. We can be a traveling fan at a soccer game, and we won't get knifed. Bringing it all back to your soccer Italian roots. So present day, you're still a Columbus Crewzers FC supporter.
I am.
I want you to talk about the Massive Supporters Project, kind of like, what it meant to you, why you wanted to do it, because I think it was you that kind of brought the idea to the table, right?
Well, no, not necessarily.
So that's not true.
I guess the first thing to start with is that I didn't make it. I was part of a team that, of a group of people that
you told me.
So who should we be interviewing instead then, Brian?
Really anybody. You could interview yourselves and it would be better.
Well, people would love that.
We did that last week.
We've done that last week.
Yeah. But yeah, the point of the show, and I think it can get misconstrued sometimes, is that we're trying to. It was about the process of making a tifo, in the narrow sense. The general sense was just showing Crew fandom. In the thing, we go to a beer release for a Crew brew. We go talk to Crew Union and L'Artibina and like all these other groups that really make up, the supporters as a general idea. It's just tifo is very visual.
Mm-hmm.
So, the big thing was not to show the people that are doing the tifo, but just the idea that anybody can do this. Just speaking of the U.S. one that went up over the weekend, how many dozens of people had their hands on that at any given time during the process? And when it goes up, nobody's name's on it. It's just a work of art that supports a team that people, all root for.
I know that when originally, I think somebody at what is it, DH Productions?
Yeah.
Somebody, I asked Brian that 5 milliseconds before we started the segment.
Yeah.
I totally didn't remember. Sent out like an email blast to like basically all of the supporters groups in the Crewniverse, and I think I was the only one that responded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that I know you, that makes complete sense.
Crew fans
we haven't had you shut up since then.
Fan whore. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed. He dominates this podcast.
That's right.
Yeah.
God damn it.
He plays music when we try to talk.
I'm on one side of the table and you are on the other. How does that make you feel, John?
It's quite literally one person on one side. See?
I'm really glad you're doing that to
music.
Yeah.
Somebody else is talking.
That's
music.
Right. Yeah. No, Greg, we totally want to.
No, but that's how it is a lot of the time. It seems communication's not Crew fans' strong suit.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
And when it is, we do it very badly.
Yeah, and usually.
Oh, I'm sorry, Greg. Were you saying something?
You're an ass.
Yeah. Well, my whole thing has always been, I'll always listen. There's no harm in hearing what someone has to say. you know? And I mean, as soon as I got that email, I was like, all right, who the hell are you? I think it was Allison. How do you say Allison's last name? Help me here. Momeyer.
Yeah.
Ridiculous
How
name.
do you think it should be said?
I mean, it sounds like a sneeze. It looks like a sneeze.
Mama Yer.
Yeah. So she had seen something where we had put out the previous season. Here are the games that we think we're going to do tifos for. Blah 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 blah. And she's like, I hear you have a tifo coming up for the New England Revolution match.
Fantastic impression.
Yeah, that's how she sounds.
She here?
Why don't you just tell me the project you're going to do? And so I met you guys at beer. What the hell is it called down in German Village?
A beer place.
Yeah.
Three-legged mare?
The one that I literally live next door to. Planks.
Bex?
Planks.
Kevin,
Glenn, and I met you guys, and I told Kevin before, like, these people want to make a TV show about tifo sweat. It's not going to happen, but we should just listen to what they have to say. And you guys were like, well, we just want to show crew fandom and include everybody, and it's not going to be about one person or one group, and whatever you guys do, just do it. We'll point a camera at you, and we won't make you say anything, and you were true to your word, and I thought it turned out pretty cool.
Well, that's good. I mean, I was really happy with it, and inherently, whoever is an extrovert and is willing to talk is going to appear more prevalent in the show, because if you just sit there and stare at a camera and don't make any noises, it's horrific.
Is that really? That's not good for broadcast?
As far as I'm concerned, it's not good. Somebody might have that fetish somewhere, and that's their own thing.
Well, that's why we had to get rid of the third host, Twitterless Pam, in favor of Greg.
That's why she's dead now.
Oh, that's how I got the job.
Pam is in that show for about, she says one thing, I think, in it, and it's like, I'm painting this soccer ball right now. I don't want to screw it up because that's when Morgan gets super mad.
Yeah, and there's also another.
And then what happened?
She screwed that soccer ball up on that other one, but there was
a different one.
There's another 30-second thing where she's sitting next to me painting, and I point out that she's screwing something.
Yeah, yeah. But it just served to make me sound like a monster.
Yeah.
Like I would go home and just
capture reality.
No, that's true. I mean, you didn't edit that in there. She literally said it.
If you look closely, you can see her bruised legs from where he hits her with a cane.
Yeah. I tend to do that where the pants cover it up.
That's good.
Yeah. I'm an expert.
You're an expert, yeah.
I was super, super nervous when you guys were editing the show together before, because you filmed it in early May.
Yeah, and you should see the 3-hour edit of it, because it contains all kinds of not safe for TV stuff.
Yeah. Well,
I would like to see that.
That's specifically what I was afraid of. I mean, I knew we were going to be vilified for being part of it. That's just crew fandom. But I was like, man, a lot of uncouth shit is said at tifo sweat.
Yeah.
And I specifically remember one night, it was the Thursday night where we had to come here late and paint from the beer thing.
The Crew Brew event,
yeah.
I think, right?
And Shrek showed up, Shrikant Mecca, Celebrity Fan. And Shrek and I kind of have a thing where I make fun of him for being Indian, except I always, infer that he's from Mexico because it makes him mad. And he says terrible, vile things about my Welsh heritage, about some sort of having sex with.
It's like the base of your friendship.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. And so anytime we see each other, instead of shaking hands or hugging or making out, which is what, Greg and I do, all of those things, we give each other shit about, ethnic things. And that one specific night, I was really going hard at Shrek because I wanted his reaction on camera. And he was not. He
wasn't biting.
He was just laughing. Yeah. I think he may have had some sort of cold, and he was like, "I don't want to sound like." Blah. Anyway, so later I was like, "Oh
and
man!"
By cold, you mean margaritas?
Yes, margaritas.
Oh, those margaritas were so good.
And it was the only time I actually thought about the cameras being there because I was baiting Shrek into being a racist on film with my own racism.
I like how it's a cold that keeps Shrek from speaking out of fear of not being able to understand him.
Right.
Because he's always so easily understood.
Oh, totally. Yeah. So I was terrified of somehow that day being more in the show, and it was Morgan's just relentless on this poor kid.
Well, that's the thing. That joke is funny because everybody knows you guys, and when you're in the room, it's funny.
Yeah.
When you're never met you guys and you see it on like TV or online or whatever, that's just not okay.
Right.
Exactly.
Totally not. And I was going to
we talked about the crew being very open, and that is very much not.
A 12-minute segment of a white dude just disparaging comment after disparaging comment at an Indian kid.
And I believe, if I remember correctly, somebody attacked the forefathers of this nation.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I was afraid that was going to be me, but he didn't look at me when he said it, so I know it wasn't.
It could have been Celebrity Fan John Sadar. Confirm or deny?
Don't lie.
I'm not going to either.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. So,
may have been me.
Is there anything coming up that you can talk about? Because I know that DH Productions has just an absolutely chock full schedule. Is there anything coming up that you can talk about maybe that has something to do with the crew or not?
I don't actually I don't really have a whole lot of information in terms of that kind of stuff.
I'm now realizing this is the question I wasn't supposed to ask you.
No, you're fine.
Yeah,
this
show prep has been terrible today.
Let me put it this way: you can watch Massive Supporters on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel, and as long as that channel's around, we'll have opportunities to do all kinds of behind the scenes crew-related stuff.
Do they still show that? Is that still on?
Yeah, they air it all the time.
Awesome.
Yeah, there's no specific time, but if you have one of those fancy DVRs and guides and whatnot, you can see it.
So they're interested in doing more programming, but there's no current plans.
Do they actually have any other original programming? We're just like, we've got a spare hour. Can we stick this in? Because what else are we going to run?
Greg, are you talking right now?
You took too long.
So I have a song to play. Oh, damn it.
You missed your moment, Morgan.
Yeah, well, any sound will do while Greg's talking.
I mean, they do all kinds of cool programming, and we just are like, I don't work for Time Warner Cable, so I'm not part of everything. But whenever they have something to throw our way, then we go full bore at it because like we've been talking about, I'm a crew fan too, and so when I get to do stuff for the crew, it's just bonus in every way. I remember the first 5 years ago, maybe it was the first time I shot something on the crew, and I got to meet Chad Marshall, which was I didn't take my shirt off and throw it at him or anything like that. But inside, you're like, this is really cool. I mean, I'm sure you guys have had this. You've been around crew stuff all the time, even though you're like, I'm actually older than half the players on this team. It's still really cool to see them in person, and
I totally
kick a soccer ball
completely
with
disagree.
them for a little bit or anything like that.
Yeah, it's much more than half for me.
Yeah,
it's most of them.
Yeah, I
think it's all of them.
I hate meeting players. It's the worst. Yeah.
Old bastards.
Really, I think it's Gregg Berhalter, and that's it. That's as far as the only staff that I can name.
Greg, he's not a player.
Yeah, he does not.
No,
play.
I mean,
do you know anything about this team?
I followed up by saying staff personnel in a non-business. Really, Morgan?
Oh man, that crowd behind us is just—they do not like you.
No.
They're just crammed into the conference room.
The Caster Connection live audience. Not a fan.
We got a second shift now, so it might as well be a live audience. There's no work getting done.
Yeah, no, none whatsoever. I'm kind of out of questions, Brian. And I think this is, without question, the worst celebrity fan segment.
I warned you from the very beginning.
Yeah, and yet I thought, well, it could be good. And, man, I was wrong. I just got to say that I was wrong. I mean, even Greg's was better than you. Greg is literally the worst.
Well, he's Australian.
That's true.
That's true.
He was bred in a prison colony.
Yeah. Yeah. So you got any weekend plans? Doing anything?
Well, I tell you what, we talked about this a little bit earlier, and it's on your famous whiteboard over there.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you compare crew to my other team?
Yeah, I totally skipped over that one.
Yeah.
Damn it.
So we can talk about that if you want.
I'm never going to win an Emmy for being a host of a podcast show. Local or otherwise.
But you never know.
That's actually not even what you win Emmys for. So.
You never know about winning it for something else.
Good.
You don't. You would never know. Like, it would just happen maybe.
Yeah, possibly. You
That
never
would be
know.
exciting, wouldn't
Possibly. It would be.
it? Yeah.
But that's it.
Anyways,
Yeah.
let's move on.
Back to your thing about fandom.
Oh, well, in terms of TIFOs, the lack of fire from crew fans, like physical flames,
Yeah.
is really disheartening.
Oh, Jesus.
You're a flare boy.
Here we go.
No, I mean, I guess that's the biggest difference is, manners and laws.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because they don't seem to have those in Italy. They have routinely shoot off cannons, which are brought by themselves in the stadium. I don't know how you get a cannon in the stadium.
Yeah.
Well, there's one
nationwide. Totally cool with that.
Can we steal the Blue Jacket cannon?
Oh, the Gatling gun cannon?
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's like it rotates.
I've never been to a Blue Jacket game.
Oh, jeez, come on now.
Wow.
You call yourself a Columbus supporter?
No, I don't think he does.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
All right, well then.
Are you trying to say, Brian, that you believe that the stadium experience would be enhanced somehow if there were burning piles of chemicals?
No, I'm saying I would be much more scared in another country. No, but I mean, here's the crazy thing about people that root for EPL teams or Italian teams or German or whatever, not French because nobody roots for them.
No.
Is that crew games are much more real in the sense that you're not watching something that's happening thousands and thousands of miles away at a time that is not like congruent with your life. You know, I don't know how many times I've woken up at 5 a.m. to watch some game that it's like 2 p.m. where they are. But I mean that's the fun thing about crew games is that it's physical. It's I live an hour away and it's still quite easy to get to a game.
Yeah.
The
difficult
tifos
to get
are
out
still
of the parking lot, but it
takes longer to leave the parking lot
easy
than it does to drive here from Dayton.
See, that's why you have to bring extra tailgating for after the game.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there's no reason to get in that mess.
Yeah. That's where you meet Chad Marshall in real life.
Oh yeah.
Is the post game tailgate.
Yeah. He comes out with his bookie to collect.
That's
from
not
people.
in reference to an actual thing that happened.
This is while he plays in Seattle, right? He just comes in for the after game.
Yeah. I can't believe it. It just
there's enough time for him to be here he can be here for post game tailgates and then literally get on a plane and fly to Seattle and then play.
Oh yeah, because of time
travel.
Because
the time travel. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
Yeah.
That's how time works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So wait, were Inter Milan one of the teams in the ICC this year?
They are.
Are you super bummed that they're not playing here?
Because that's your team.
I've seen them twice, and that's
Oh, you have?
Yeah, in Philly and in Indianapolis, and those are the only times I've been able to actually get to a game. And I'm actually going to the Charlotte game this year.
Oh, nice.
Because what better way to waste money than traveling across the country to see a game that doesn't mean anything?
Yeah.
And probably doesn't have any of their star players.
Yeah.
Are you really going to Charlotte?
I really am.
Are they really playing in Charlotte?
I mean, would you really go to Bridgeview or DC or Seattle?
Yeah, but that's
or
the
Portland?
Crew, man. I'm from Columbus.
Well, I mean, I travel for all the teams
he just
I
got
root
done
for.
saying he's followed Inter Milan longer than you followed Crew.
I'm not listening.
So,
I don't care about any of this.
who are they playing in Charlotte?
Bayern Munich.
Oh, that's right. That's gonna
Nice.
So
That
it's
would
a
be
rematch
fun.
of the 2010 Champions League final.
Of course, that one.
Was that the year
Yeah.
that they won the treble?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
I mean, at least name recognition wise, club wise, that could be the biggest one.
Is anyone going to the game here?
Yeah, I'm going to go to this one, too.
You going to this one, too?
Yeah, which
no.
is rough.
The prices are so high.
I just don't care.
I think for me, if it was any other teams, like Real Madrid and PSG are sweet, but I honestly don't care. Like, I don't watch either of them.
And they could not be more opposite of the Crew.
Yeah.
I mean, they are just built on, like, let's throw as much money as we possibly can at things that are kind of famous and see if we can sell merchandise.
Yeah. Greg, are you going to the game?
I doubt it. Oh, we go into the next segment.
Oh,
That's
man.
nice.
What about that music is playing? It only means one thing, Greg. It's time to go to break. We want to thank Bryan Levin for stopping by. Is it Levin or Levin?
It's Levin.
Well, it's Levin because you got to get the hell out of here. The segment's over. Yeah, that joke came back.
Good one.
We did that pre-podcast. Anyway.
It worked then, too.
Oh, Greg.
Genital break.
John's going to take his genitals out. We're going to line up the hot takes, and we'll be back after a word from our corporate overlords over at Blood.
Hot, sicker than your average. Down like goose and I'm fly like Maverick. With a savage attack in a mouth like a mash. Spitting fuego, homie. It ain't tricking if it's magic. Illusions. Indubitably juvenile. My crew can do it and we do it well. Rock around the clock all across the nation. Got a lot of sky miles and a reputation of making earthquakes every time we land. Cause stopping ain't an option or a part of the plan. Fools get to feeling while I'm running on jet fuel. Now pay close attention cause I'm ready to let you
Oh, yeah. We are back from another break where John has exposed himself to the youth of Hilliard, Ohio. I think they enjoyed it this time, John.
Not all of them ran away.
Yeah, no. There's only a couple.
They're getting used to it.
Yeah, we broke their legs.
That'll be fine.
Yeah. Got to do that sometimes and make sure they see what they need to see. Welcome back, everyone. We have some exciting news to report here on Columbus Crewzers FC front, guys.
This is the last Columbus Crew.
Yes. Well, welcome back to what is also possibly the last episode of ACES Radio, Greg.
There you go.
You son of a bitch.
You take that back. My mom she's all right. Wow. No love for my mom.
Why start now?
Yeah.
So, today...
It's okay. She doesn't listen.
Columbus Crewzers SC have signed another broadcast deal. This time, it's not Columbus, but it is somewhere in Ohio.
All right.
Sandusky!
Massillon. Oh, okay.
Yay! And Toledo as well. I just read this right before we started recording, so I don't have very many details, but apparently there's a company called Buckeye Cable System, Greg, and they will now show all of the rest of the Crewzers FC soccering matches for the 2016 season. I believe it will be simulcast from Time Warner Sports channel, so they'll be getting the delightful pre- and post-game rantings of celebrity fan Dwight Burgess, Nordex celebrity Neil Sika, and my favorite person in the world, Chris Doran, who I absolutely treasure. That man.
Chris Doran's the best.
He is a delight.
It's pretty awesome.
So they just don't have Time Warner cable up there? Is that what this is?
I don't know.
I'm not entirely sure how it works. I mean, a former resident of both areas here, so we had Buckeye Cable.
Oh, so you know what it is?
It is a thing, yes.
Oh. Is it like one of the big ones?
It's a big one in terms of Sandusky, but Sandusky thinks that they're big, so...
That's what she said. Yeah. Goddamn right, Greg. Don't you look at me like that. I'll play a song over you in a hot second.
So that's been done.
So this is a big, this is good. I mean, things keep getting better. I mean, the only thing really you could have said about the deal that was just announced in the Columbus market was, well, if you're an out-of-town Crew fan, it doesn't, aside from MLS Live not being blacked out, which is huge. That's
right.
huge. It doesn't affect you locally, I suppose. And it turns out that they, again, have heard the things that people are saying, and they've addressed it, which continues to just destroy what it means to be a Crew fan. They're taking away our right to be outraged.
Well, all jokes aside about Buckeye Cable, I mean, they are a really, really big company, so this is going to reach a lot of people in Northwest Ohio.
Question.
Yes.
If they're so big, why have I literally never heard of them?
Because they're big there.
Oh, that makes sense.
And nowhere else.
So did the existing deal cover, or not the existing deal, but the big one that they just announced a week or two ago, cover Cleveland and Cincinnati then also, or?
No,
that was literally just Columbus?
Well, I mean, if you have Time Warner Sports, you still...
You see it wherever.
Yeah, you still get it. The big thing about the one they just announced for Columbus was the over-the-air thing and the non-blacking out and, all that stuff. So, but this is good for, Toledo and Sandusky for sure. There's got to be... Think about how many people are up there. And when you take into consideration all people who've died and also people who aren't born yet,
that's a lot of people.
It's almost an infinite a number of people, John.
We can get those facts and figures from corporate sponsor Blood later, but
yeah. I did not get their facts.
No, I told them not to send it to you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Just all official documents straight to me from now on.
Yeah, we will look into it and we will get everybody the corresponding.
It sounds like it could be a lot of people, though.
Yeah. And I look forward to your hot takes regarding the issue,
I'll
John.
prepare them.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be on at least one TV in the Sandusky Tea House.
Well, I think that's the only... What?
That's anybody... I know most people will know that's not a thing.
Is it your previous
haunt?
haunt?
Not know that that's a thing, pardon me. No, not mine.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is that Sandusky Hen Dogs? Is that what that is?
No. It's somewhere beneath.
What is this?
It's not even
sad music.
You're always yelling at me not to pull my genitals out, then you play that.
I know that's the music you prefer to use.
That is the soundtrack to John's genitals.
Yeah.
I gotta go. I gotta go to the tea house.
Yeah. Well.
It's somewhere slightly below like the Sandusky Library Bar.
Oh, I'm sorry, Greg. Are you talking?
Way. Not anymore.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
So
hookers can watch Crew SC now.
Yes, that was the point.
Well, big props to Lambeau and Aces and whomever else was not Clark Beacom for sure.
The wheelers and the dealers.
Yeah, they continue to just beast it, and I'm constantly in awe of their size. Yeah. Hey, guess what? We actually have a Crew game coming up this weekend, everybody.
What?
Yay!
Is it a home game? Of course it's not a home game.
No, we don't get those.
No,
we would never be allowed.
We're done with those.
Yeah. Columbus Crewzers FC traveling to Frisco, Texas to take on the Dallas Burn on Saturday, 9 p.m. local time. Everyone's really excited. The top 2 bullet points I have under segment 3, my top 2 points are fuck everything.
I see that.
Yes. So this seems like this just jumps out to me as a game that, and it literally does say that on the board.
Yeah, it
Greg,
really
in
does.
case you're wondering.
Yeah.
This to me looks like a game that we're just absolutely going to lose. Dallas is not coming off of a bye week, and I would argue that in this early in the season, having a bye week is just completely counterproductive.
Yeah.
John, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's not in our favor, I guess, but I feel like we needed the bye week. It's not like we were playing well, so maybe this extra time let us retune things, get everybody back on the same page. And me and Celebrity Fan Bryan were talking when you were out of the room earlier.
Yeah.
Dallas is up and down. To the like highest points and the lowest valleys, it's really...
They had a really bad game against Houston.
Yeah. Really bad.
Otherwise, they've looked like world beaters.
Yeah.
And they had a bad series against Portland in the playoffs last year. And other than that, they just murdered really a lot of people in their way. We played them one time last season at home. It was a 3-0 loss. But I believe in that game we had no Kamara and no Higuain. Is that right? We were missing some people. I have not bothered to look at the tape, John, or any of the numbers.
We were missing literally everyone.
Yeah.
That's the only excuse.
I played in that game.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yep. I scored no goals.
We had a missed penalty in that game, I believe, as well. No, you know what? That was the game where there was all of the call-ups on both sides. Remember, we were missing like 9 people off of our roster.
Yes.
And it was like Parkhurst. You remember we made that District 96?
Oh, yeah.
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 We were going to what was that?
And my headphones.
Oh, my God.
It's fine.
Oh, it was just your headphones for real?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's not creepy at all then. So, yeah, I don't really take much from last season, even though the two teams are, pretty much identical.
Yeah.
It was such a weird game. So who the hell knows what's going to happen? Dallas is in the midst of a 7-game winning streak, and I believe in that time they are also undefeated against the Eastern Conference. Corey Ash, fat, bald old man Connor Casey, and total unknown Ola Kamara are all ouchie and unlikely to play.
Unlikely to play regardless of their injury situation, honestly. So
Morgan, when you say that they're in the middle of a 7-game win streak, that completely discounts the 5-0 loss to Houston.
That was in
a couple
Houston.
Of weeks ago.
That was in Houston.
You didn't say home winning streak. You just said winning streak.
I can either
I
can either confirm it or deny because
I feel like I said home.
I think you did, but I don't.
I know you did not.
Great.
Please
Here's
feel
the
free
deal.
to tweet
Listen,
at me.
Will our 3 listeners please yell at whichever one of these idiots is wrong?
Yeah, I would like that. Unless it's me.
No,
No.
please.
No,
Please feel free to
yeah.
knock Morgan down several pegs.
At Morgan_Hughes, at GreggsGotBigBrassBalls.com.
Well, if you're talking crap
Biggest
to me on
balls
the
of them
internet,
all.
there's no underscore. It's just Morgan Hughes.
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
I feel sorry for whoever is Morgan
Yeah.
Hughes.
Yeah, it's a high school girl.
No, I wasn't referring to the Twitter handle. I was just
Just
referring
in
to
general,
I feel
people
sorry for
named Morgan
whoever's
Hughes.
Morgan
We
Hughes.
are totally off the rails right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
But
that ever happens
I
here.
feel like that's come to be expected, John. And for someone who takes their genitals out 3 times a show, I don't feel like you have much room to accuse other people of being off rails. How dare you?
Listen, I take him out at the same time every show.
Yeah, you sure
I try
do.
to maintain a schedule.
Yeah. That was George Takei.
I know.
Yeah, so I don't know what to think. I'm 96% sure we're going to lose this game, and then we have to go to Vancouver, and we're I don't know if we're going to have enough team by June.
team?
We might not even have a team. They might kick us out of the league.
Moving,
Is there relegation?
Are they moving us to Las Vegas?
Yeah.
That's right.
There's a stadium. There's a bridge over the train tracks there.
Yeah.
And a stadium roof.
No, I'm optimistic.
Why?
I mean, because things can't get worse. Things can't get worse.
You're just optimistic.
We lost the first 2 games and we tied Bridgeview.
You're just saying that ultimately, at some point in existence, things won't be this bad.
No.
That's a hot take if I've ever heard one, Greg.
We're not Seattle right now. They're 0-3.
Yeah.
We
have a point. I'm optimistic.
All right. Greg?
I'm not optimistic.
No.
At all. No. I think the way that Dallas dismantled DC last week says a lot about the team that they are. Bear in mind also the fact that they have a 7-game home winning streak. As you didn't say. God, I hope I'm right on that one.
Call them out.
Yeah. Call me out if I'm wrong.
Regulator 614.
There you
Celebrity
go.
Fan Bryan Levin. Are you feeling good or bad? I know that you don't have a mic in front of you right now.
Good.
Okay.
I think Ethan Finlay single-handedly rides the high.
Oh, can I just say? Remember when I called
He
that
thinks
last
Ethan
week?
Finlay single-handedly rides the high of last week.
Okay.
Or this week.
Remember I said you got to score a goal in a real game to break your to break your slump. And what did Ethan Finlay do 2 days ago?
Well, does your logic apply if it didn't count?
It did though.
But it literally did not.
He got
did.
CONCACAF'd, which
If it
rules
doesn't-
out the
It counted.
ruled out goal.
So it counted in like the
It counted in proving in reminding him that he has what it takes to score a goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It didn't count on the stat sheet,
And it didn't count in the stand.
but he did what he needed to do, and ultimately he can watch the tape and see that he made the right play and the right moves in that situation.
Yeah, he gets his participation trophy, and
as is tradition.
yeah, which I'm sure in Zadar land, whatever filthy immigrant town you're from.
Yeah. Well, I got ribbons all the time. That's why I keep taking my genitals out. If people hadn't given me ribbons every time I did it when I was a kid, I wouldn't do it now. So.
Oh man, that town sounds terrible. The local ribbon shop is definitely booming business-wise, though.
Yeah.
Welcome to Ribbon Balls, Ohio.
The
Population
annual
John.
4th of July Clintonville Genital Parade.
Hey, glad to be here. I don't know. You want to move on to predictions?
Yeah, I guess we may as well.
Yeah. I mean, this show is already a tragic dumpster fire, John, which is good that it is possibly the last episode of ACES Radio. I want to start with, Brian, you want to slide back over onto
let's bring him back in.
The general area of Regulator 614. And by the way, if you're at Hendok's Pub, watch out because you might sit on him because he's asleep in a chair.
That's not me. That's someone else.
Oh, Ryan Gear. That's right. I'm sorry.
Is that better or worse if it's him or somebody else?
I won't answer that. You'll have to find out.
Just sit on both laps and tell us what you like better.
All right.
Yeah. So I want
Try before you buy.
First of all, I want your hot take on this weekend, and it better be hot, God damn it, because I am open and I am ready to receive you.
My hot take.
Yeah. John, genitals away. So hot take about this upcoming match against the Dallas Burn.
Like I said, I think the Crew have shown over the last, year and a half that if they play to their best, nobody can beat them, right? The problem is they just don't play to their best a third of the time. And I think one player can kind of carry the team. And so, like I said, I think Ethan Finlay keeps it going after his, what I would say, successful national team appearance and maybe a goal and assist.
That is the hottest of all takes,
Yeah.
man. Wow. You're predicting an Ethan Finlay onslaught.
Yeah.
Wow. That's something we haven't seen in a while.
No, and I think he's due for it. I mean, I think last year he got a little tired at the end of the year, and he's still trying to find his feet, although I think you could say 11 people on the Crew are trying to find their feet right now.
Yeah.
And so I think, this is his game. He's got how could you not be pumped up after the ovation he got in that game?
Yeah. I have no idea. I would expect him to be very hyped. So, hot take complete. Brian, I want your score prediction.
2-1 Crew.
2-1. That is a historically relevant scoreline recently. Seems like almost all of our games end in that. Gregulator 614, Celebrity Fan Greg Benson,
Yes.
Hollywood, Hulk Hogan, Greg Benson. I believe that's what you called yourself.
Yeah, something like that.
I want your hot take, and then I would like your score prediction.
My hot take is that the Crew will get better, but I don't think it's going to be
Oh, I'm sorry. That start again. Sorry about that, Greg. Go ahead.
So you think you're throwing me off? All you're doing is putting me in the mood.
Am I making you stronger?
You're making me several things. I don't know about stronger.
God damn it.
Whoa.
Yeah, leave that
Genitals
to John.
are my thing.
Yeah. You're encroaching on his thing.
I don't want to. I'm going to back up a few.
That's generally the
I'm gonna
plan.
back up a few yards. I have no desire to encroach on your thing.
No, God! No, God, please, no!
I'm sorry. You can restart your hot take at any time.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. 'Cause
Why not?
I have my
I'm
doubts.
going to leave my hands right here.
I have my doubts.
A little to the left, please.
Yeah, no, I think Dallas is too good to drop this one. I think, as you said, with the lack of a bye week, they're gelling, they're doing the right things, and they don't have the break away from doing those things. I mean, you can pass the ball around in training all you like, but they have the game time that's put in and it's consistent, and Columbus doesn't have that. They don't have the form. They don't have anything else. If a bye week is what the Crew are relying on to get back into form, God help them, because this is not the team to do it against.
All right. Hot
I
take
don't
complete.
think it goes well, sadly. I want to be wrong.
Score prediction.
Score prediction, 3-1 going the wrong way. I don't know. If only there was another podcast that I'd given a prediction on that I could remember.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is
before I
you
predicted.
talking about Master
Okay, I
Report and
deserve
then
that
the music
one.
started? How dare
No,
you,
I was
you
on Red
ignorant
Cards.
slut.
I was on
Greg.
Red Cards in Helltown. They love me there.
Yeah, no doubt. Celebrity fan John Zadar,
Yeah, what are we doing?
fresh off of texting someone for the last 7 minutes. I want to thank you for your contributions during that time.
You never called, John.
Hey, Mrs. Lolly, you
What are you
stay
doing
out.
here, Miss Lolly?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I want your hot take. Go ahead.
Yeah, Crew get a draw. Yeah, I think the defense carries us here, along with a refreshed Ethan Finlay. I think Brian's right.
All right.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a high scoring thing. I don't think it's a 0-0 though. I think I'm gonna go 1-1.
Short and not overwhelming take, just like your genitals, John. Your score prediction is 1-1.
Yeah, correct.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Here's my hot take, everyone.
That'd be yours.
I know you're waiting with bated breath. We tend to play better against teams that are good. We really do. These crap teams like Philly and Chicago that play with 11 keepers, and they're just like, pepper us, try it. That seems to work on us. But teams that try to bring the heat, we do well against. New York last year, LA a couple years ago. These high caliber teams, we have the firepower to compete with them. A little bonus hot take, Greg, if you don't mind.
I never mind.
I wouldn't have stopped even if you did. Is this still a Pioneer Cup? That's what I want to know. That's my hot take.
Is it still?
Is that still a thing?
Did they stop that last?
I believe they stopped it. Oh, I know that I did my part to try to stop it by breaking the actual trophy a couple times. I broke it once because it was sitting on a table in the front office, and I was sitting there waiting for my paycheck to clear, and and I was like playing with the Pioneer Cup, and I broke it. It broke, like the handle broke, and I was like, oh shit! And I was like trying to fix it, but it's like soldered, and you can't fix that with your hands. But I tried, and I got like crappy fingerprints and dirt all over it, and it's like sterling silver. And so I was like, shit. So I ordered all of this like silver cleaning product off of Amazon, because I'm like, if I go back in there and I clean it, maybe people will be like, oh, it's so pretty. They won't notice that it's just totally busted. Yeah. So I went back in, and once all the silver cleaning stuff came, Amazon Prime, thank you. And I was like I was trying to clean it, and I broke the other handle, because that's the one I was holding on to it with. I was like, oh shit! And
What is this thing made of?
I don't know. Maybe I have no idea. So I was like, oh crap! And I like jumped a little bit, and the top fell off.
Oh my god!
And it fell onto the ground, and it just dented the shit out of it.
So much for that paycheck you were waiting to clear.
Not over yet. So I picked it up off of the ground, and I was trying to it's silver. It's like super. I don't know. It was like a really strong point that bent somehow, and I couldn't bend it back. So I was trying to force it back on top, and I broke the thing completely off of its base. So I broke both handles, I dented the top, and I broke the entire thing off of its base.
Was Yakety Sax playing while this all happened?
Yeah, it was a tragic failure.
Of course
Greg.
he has that ready.
Yeah.
Of course.
And I believe that they sent it back to Dallas because I think they own it. So, good times. I'm going to guess that it's not the Pioneer Cup anymore.
I don't think so.
Yeah, because the whole, Lamar and Hunt Sports Group not owning the Crew. Thank you, Lord Guillermo. Thank you, tiny baby infant Jesus.
Oh, it's the best thing.
Yeah. So.
Thanks, Tony Aces, for writing the check.
Yeah.
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 I guarantee they just didn't even check. They're like, oh, there's that trophy. Just throw it in the back room. And it's been so long now that they can go find it, and they're like, oh, who was the first impressions coordinator at that time? They probably broke it. I'm assuming that's a position around the league.
First impressions coordinator?
First impression, yeah.
It was Lauren Pioli's fault. 100%.
You, Lauren.
Lauren.
She sits at that desk and looks so innocent.
She sure does.
But when no one's around, she's just breaking things.
Yeah. Does anybody have any hot takes that we hadn't gotten to? Because the last thing I want to do, Greg, is make you feel like you didn't get all of it out. John, I'm totally fine with you feeling like you didn't get it all out.
So do we assume that Merrim starts again this week?
Yeah. Yeah?
With the MLS Cup lineup returns and the Jimenez project is over?
Yes.
Well, he returned last week, so yeah, I think.
Well, no, I know, but I'm just
not last week.
Another week of Emil Larson possibly understanding the system a little bit.
Hopefully
better.
he shows up. Yeah, I would like to see him for more than 4 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm okay with really seeing anything from a change-up perspective. Throw something and see if it sticks. And if it doesn't, you can always bring Merrim on in the 65th because that's where he excels anyway.
Gregg Berhalter is not an experimental guy, though. He typically doesn't shuffle things if he thinks that the team's going bad. It's a stay the course kind of mentality because he's got a plan in place and he believes that it works. Look, we've seen the results thus far.
Where are you going to watch a game, Greg?
Probably Old North Arcade.
Oh yeah, YNA is having
there's that music again. YNA's having a
thing?
No,
YNA's watch party is at Old North Arcade this week. Yeah, I think that's where I'm going to be as well.
Well,
Crew, video games, beer.
If you want to see some celebrity genitals this week, join John Zadar and Yellow Nation Army at Old North Arcade, located at Stringtown Road.
And me and Justin McKinney will be the ones in the songs.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to ACES Radio. You've made a terrible decision. We will be back next week at some point. And all the people said... ACES. What does that mean? Hell yeah.
Did you know do the intro music?
5 matching names. Jesus. No, absolutely not.
Or JP.
Who doesn't know how to stop recording his name? There we go. He might actually still be there. This will be less fun if he actually answers.
8:15 on a
awkward.
Yeah.
Just hang up.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. All of the marketing terms.
Daniel, this is your mother again. This is the 7th message I've left you this week. You again have left your dick cream at the house. Your father and I invite you to stay here as a gesture of goodwill. And we don't appreciate you leaving these dick cream bottles laying everywhere. Your father found one and he began rubbing it on himself. If the medication is not meant for you, Daniel, it shouldn't go on your body. I've told your father that a lot. He doesn't understand.
Tell him about the itching.
He says it itches, which is why you use it to stop the itching. It makes your father itch. Why is it? How bad does it burn, Harold?
It's so bad.
He's covering his mouth with his hand for some reason. I don't know why he's doing that. It's making him crazy, Daniel. Next time you come here, you need to take this dick cream away.
I got some on the dog.
Oh, he's putting it on the animals now, Daniel. Come home and see your parents and take this godforsaken dick cream away from us. It's ruining our lives, and Sparky... There's dick cream on Sparky now.
He's unconscious.
That's our dog.
Yeah, we got it.
That's our dog, Daniel.
Anyway, hope everything's going well and hope the itching has gone away as best it can without the cream. Call me, I love you. Your father is dying, so come see him before you... That's a dying sound. Before your dick cream ruins your father's life. Goodbye.